Yes. Yeah. Look at this. The third case is the member again cantilever member with the diameter is 50 mm and length is 250 mm. It is subjected to a torsional load of 1 kilonewton into meter. So 1 kilonewton into meter means convert this kilonewton into newton and meter to mm. Because we need to maintain the same unit throughout. It is the for load it is in newton and for diameter and the length we need to maintain it is in mm. So kilonewton to newton is 10 to the power of 3, meter to mm is 10 to the power of 3. So J value which is available in data and book, I have shown it to you. Yeah, look at this. Is the PDF is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, look at this. You need to go for table number 1.3b. 1.38 it is for moment of inertia and 1.3b for polar moment of inertia. For circular it is pi d to the power of 4 by 32. If you want section modulus, polar sectional modulus, it is J by R. Same thing for circular Euler section. So the equation is available for ellipse and for rectangular section. The polar moment of inertia equation is available. That is given by pi d to the power of 4 by 32 from equation 1.3b. So that we know that shear stress which is given by T by J into R, the basic torsion equation. Again, if you don't know the equation, so just refer the data and book. At the starting of the module 1, the equation will be available, the basic equations. Look at this. This is the direct stress and the bending stress and the shear stress. Tau is equal to T by J into R, or T by ZP, polar section modulus. So they are given that for circular section, ZP is given by pi dq by 16. You can take it directly if it is circular cross section. Yeah. So this is the equation for the torsional shear stress. Using that equation, look at this. Tau is equal to T by J into R. T is given by 1 into 10 to the power of 3. Look at this. 1 into 10 to the power of 3, 10 to the power of 3 is 1 into 10 to the power of 6 divided by J is pi d to the power of 4 by 32 into R is, what is the radius? The diameter is 50. The problem given that so that radius will become 25. So shear stress is given by 40.74 Newton per mm square. Here, once you find out the stresses, we need to find out the maximum principal stress, minimum principal stress, and maximum shear stress. To find out that, what about sigma x? There is no direct stress here, sigma x is 0. And also there is no y-axis stress, so that sigma y is 0. Only shear stress is present on a plane, on an xy plane, that is tau of xy, is given as 40.74 Newton per mm square. In this case, we need to find out the maximum principal stress and minimum. For this, we need to use the equation which is available for plane stress system. Plane stress system ki equation gotide nimge, right, which is sigma x plus y by 2 plus or minus x minus y by 2 whole square plus tau of xy square. So here x and y is 0, x and y is 0, remaining with tau of xy square. Square root of tau of xy square. Square root will get cancelled, remaining with plus tau of xy. For maximum, minimum take it minus plus tau of xy. So plus 40.74 Newton per mm square will be the maximum principal stress and minus 40.74 will be the minimum principal stress. Tau maximum is the difference between these two, sigma 1 minus sigma 2. Right, 40 minus of minus plus, it is 80 point something. So we are getting 40.74 will be the maximum shear stress. This is the third case. So when only the torsional load is given, the shear stress will be present. The sigma x and sigma y is 0. Use the general stress system or plane stress system equation to find out the maximum and minimum principal stress. So sigma x and y is 0. So sigma 1 will become plus of tau of xy, sigma 2 will become minus of tau of xy. So the tau maximum is sigma 1 minus 2 by 2. Is it clear? Can I go with next one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this up to here, don't expect this type of problem in the examination. This is only for the sake of understanding the axial load, bending load, and torsional load. Axial load, direct stress will be developed. transverse load, bending stress will be developed, and torsional load, shear stress will be developed. Right? These are the three cases to understand the problem. Right? Next is the problem, the exam-oriented problems, where it is the combination of axial and bending. Clear? Axial load is given, the transverse load is given. Due to this, axial stress will be developed. Due to this bending, I told you that it undergo bending. So I told you that, so due to transverse load, top will undergo tensile stress and bottom will undergo compression stress. So combination of two. Or repeat that axial and bending separately. For axial stress, use that P by A, area is pi by 4d square. P is 1500 and power of 3, you will get direct stress. Same thing, bending stress. As in the second case, we have taken that M by I into C. M is load into distance, I is pi d to the power of 4 by 64, into C is 50 by 2. By using that, calculate bending stress. At point A, bending stress is positive. You know that, I told you that due to this load, the top will undergo expansion, bottom will undergo compression. Where it is tensile bending stress and compression bending stress. Yeah, that is what I have taken. At point A, the bending stress at top is positive, bending stress at bottom is negative. This calculation we have already done it in the previous case. In the examination, if they ask like this, calculate separately direct stress and calculate separately bending stress. At point A, it is tensile, and at point B, it is compression. Once you got, so we need to find out sigma x. So I will take a top fiber point A, sigma d plus the bending stress at top fiber, that is direct stress plus bending stress. Bending stress ಎರಡು ಕಡೆ ಇದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಟಾಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, so that direct stress ಗೆ bending stress ನ add ಮಾಡಬೇಕು at point A and at point B. So at point A, direct stress is there, due to 15 plus bending stress at the top. It is 7.63 plus 61.11, you're getting 68.74 Newton per mm square. That is sigma x. So sigma y is 0. And also there is no torsional load, tau of xy is also 0. Only sigma x is present. Due to this, direct stress will be developed, which is x-axis stress. Due to this, the bending stress will be developed. Again, that will be stress will be induced along the x-axis. So both are x-axis stress, the transverse load and direct load will induce the stress along x direction. Add these two, direct and bending at point A. Same thing coming to the point B. Direct stress must be added to the bending stress at point B. What is the direct stress here? 7.63. And what is the bending stress at point B? It is minus 61.11. So it will become, the sigma x will become negative. The compression stress will be developed at the point B, the compression. Once you got sigma x at point A and sigma x at point B, so tau of xy is 0 and sigma y is 0, we need to find out. Sigma y is 0, tau of xy is 0, we need to find out at point A. Sigma 1 will become sigma x, because this will be subject to uniaxial. Only sigma x is present. Sigma y is 0, tau of xy is 0. Only one stress is present, sigma x. That means it is uniaxial. Again, you need to go to the data handbook. The first column and uniaxial stress idaga, the maximum principal stress will become equal to sigma x. And minimum principal stress will be equal to sigma y. Tau maximum, sigma 1 minus 2 by 2, 2 is 0, sigma 1 by 2. Is it clear? This is at the top. Coming to the bottom. Bottom again, sigma 1 and sigma 2. You have to be very careful here. Because sigma x is negative, we can't take sigma 1 as minus 53 because it will become lesser value. We need to arrange in such a way that sigma 1 is the highest value than the sigma 2. So that 0 is higher than minus 53. So sigma 2 will become sigma x and sigma 1 will become 0. Tau maximum is the difference between 1 and 2 by 2. Take the difference between 1 and 2 by 2 or this 1 and 2 by 2. For this at point A and at point B. Is it clear? The combination of axial and bending. Doubts idea? Is there any doubts?
No, sir.
Keshavamurthy? Keshavamurthy.
No, sir.
ಇದೀರಾ ಲೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಶವಮೂರ್ತಿ?
No, sir.
Are listening to the problem or sitting simply?
ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ.
Simple thing. I'll tell you first once again. Axial load ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ? The same thing we need to do it for axial. Find out the axial stress and due to transverse load m by I into C. Find out the bending stress at point A and point B. Point A li tensile irutte, point B li compression irutte. ನಾನು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅದು, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಟಾಪ್ ಫೈಬರ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ನ ಟಾಪ್ ಫೈಬರ್ ಲೇನ್ ಬೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. 7.63 ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಆಡೆಡ್ ಟು ದಿ ಬೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ at top fiber plus 61.11. Same thing at point B, direct stress must be added to the bending stress at point B. Add those two. So we're getting sigma x because both direct stress and bending stress will be developed along the x-axis. So x will be the combination of these two. So x-axis stress at point A and point B. So sigma y is 0, tau of xy is 0. So that at point A, because these two stress will be 0, only sigma x is present, it is uniaxial stress. For uniaxial, you refer the data in book where sigma 1 is equal to sigma x, sigma 2 is sigma y, that is 0, tau maximum is sigma 1 by 2. Same thing at point B, we have taken sigma 2 is 0, sigma 1 is 0 and sigma 2 as x because arranged in such a way that sigma 1 is greater than sigma 2. So algebraically we need to assign it, right? So that if I assign that sigma 1 is equal to sigma x, this will become negative. This will become lesser value, which will not holds good, right? Take this as 0 and assign sigma 2 is equal to sigma x. Again tau maximum sigma 1 minus 2 by 2. Clear? Next, last problem, the axial and transverse load is given here, axial and torsion. Repeat axial and torsion load separately. So due to this, direct stress is 7.63. Clear? And due to that, shear stress calculate ಮಾಡಿ, T by J into R. T is this one, 1 into 10 to the power of 6. The third case ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. Then J, pi d to the power of 4 by 64 into C is R is 25. By using that, calculate the shear stress T by J into R. Right? Look at this, sigma D means it will be direct stress sigma x. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ಬೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿತ್ತು, ಬೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. So that this direct stress alone will become sigma x. Sigma y is 0, tau of xy is known. X is present, tau of xy is present. Go to the plane stress system. In plane stress system ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ? So where is that equation? You need to go with this. Uniaxial, I told you that this is the condition. Tau maximum is sigma 1 by 2. And biaxial equation is there. So this is the case, we need to go with plane stress system, right? So refer this equation 1.8c and 1.8d. That sigma 1 is sigma x plus y by 2 plus square root of x minus y by 2 whole square plus tau of xy square. Here y is 0, sigma s is directly direct stress and tau of xy substitute here. You're getting maximum principal stress. To find out minimum, simply take the negative, other parameters remain same. So it will be minus 37.08 Newton per mm square. Sigma 1 and sigma 2, lastly tau maximum, difference between these two divided by 2. Sigma 1 minus 2 by 2, so we'll give the maximum shear stress, it is Newton per mm square. Yeah, that's completes the fifth case. The axial and bending is over, axial and torsion is there. Lastly, bending and torsion. Is it clear? So bending again, due to this, calculate the bending stress m by I into C. Second case al ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. So that at point A 61.11 and point B it is negative. Right, due to this, bending stress ಅಂದಾಗ ಒಂದು ಟಾಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಬಾಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. The top it is tensile and bottom it is compression, plus and minus. So due to this torsional load, shear stress will be developed, which is given by T by J into R. I have already explained that how to calculate that. So retain the same value. Tau of xy is 40.74 Newton per mm square. Here the x-axis stress is there and tau of xy is there. X-axis, if it is direct stress is given, for that direct stress we need to add it, but here it is not given. We can directly take this as sigma x and tau of xy at point A. So we need to calculate, when there is bending stress, we need to calculate the maximum and minimum principal stress at top and bottom fiber. So bending stress is there at point A means at top fiber, sigma y is 0, sigma x is 61.11, sigma x at point A. Sigma y is 0, take that sigma x, sigma y is 0, tau of xy is 40.74. To calculate sigma 2, in between these two, take the negative, other parameter remains same. There is a minimum principal stress. So at point B, clear? So this is not the case, change it. Sigma x at B, it will become minus 61.11. Take the sigma x is minus 61.11, sigma y is 0, tau of xy will remain same. At point A and B, this will be remain same. At point A, sigma x will become 61.11. At point B, sigma x will become minus 61.11. Clear? And find out the maximum shear stress, sigma 1 minus 2 by 2. Maximum shear stress, sigma 1 minus 2 by 2. Is it clear, the bending and torsion? It's a combination of two loads. Is it okay? Can I go with last case? Yeah, look at this last case. It's very important. This problem was appeared many times in the examination for 15 marks, 16 marks or 12 marks like that, right? So here what is that? The same 250 mm length and diameter is same. Axial load is given, transverse load is given, torsional load is given. Here all the three is given. The x-axis stress, that is direct stress due to the axial load, and due to this transverse load, bending stress at point A and B. So add direct stress and bending stress at point A will give the sigma x at point A. Add direct stress and bending stress at point B will give sigma x at point B. So by using this load, calculate tau of xy will give the tau of xy. Clear? Yeah, look at this. I have shown the complete calculation in this problem. Direct stress is given by load by area. Load is 15 into 10 power of 3, area is pi by 4, d square, 50 square. Got sigma d. Bending stress due to the transverse load. Due to this, bending stress will be developed. M by I is equal to sigma by y. This equation is available in data handbook. Sigma is equal to m by y into I. M is 3 into 10 to the power of 3 into distance 250. 3 into 10 to the power of 3 into distance 250 divided by I is pi d to the power of 4 by 64 into y is, so distance from neutral axis to extreme fiber. It is symmetric. So that C1 will becomes equal to C2. It is 50 by 2 is 25. You got sigma B. So this sigma B at point A is tensile. This sigma B at point B is compression. Already explained another. So once again I will show you that. So if I apply the load like this, top will be tensile, bottom will be compression. Right? This is what I have taken. The bending stress at point A is positive, bending stress at point B is negative. We have direct stress, that is x-axis stress. We need to add this to the bending stress at point A, and we need to add this to the bending stress at point B to get sigma x at point A and B. Then we need to calculate shear stress. T by J is equal to tau by R is equal to G theta by L. So this equation also available in data handbook. So that shear stress is given by T by J into R. T is 110 power of 6. J, it is also available in data handbook equation from the table 1.3b pi d to the power of 4 by 32 into the radius of that is 25. Tau is 40.74 Newton per mm square. Next at point A, so sigma x is sum of direct stress plus bending stress. Direct stress is known, plus at point A bending stress is tensile. Add these two, will get sigma x. Sigma y is 0, tau of xy is retained same. So by using the equation sigma x plus y by 2 plus sigma x square root of sigma x minus y by 2 whole square plus tau of xy square, using that calculate sigma 1 and sigma 2 at point A and tau maximum sigma 1 minus 2 by 2. Same thing. This at point A. At point B, sigma x again direct stress plus bending stress at point B. Bending stress at point B is negative. Take the summation of these two, you are getting minus 53.48 Newton per mm square. Again, sigma y is 0, tau of x will retain same. By using this equation, calculate maximum and minimum principal stress. Right? So, and tau maximum is sigma 1 minus 2 by 2. Clear? Any doubts over here? No doubts here? Yeah.